From filmmaker Stephen Hopkins comes the fifth entry of the infamous Nightmare on Elm Street saga, the last Freddy movie of the 1980s, and certainly one of the most divisive films of the series as far as Freddy fans are concerned. Let's take a look at A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. Ever since my childhood, I've been captivated by this movie. Positioned as a fifth installment of the franchise, The Dream Child serves as the concluding piece of what fans have affectionately nicknamed the Dream Warriors sub-trilogy, a distinctive subset within the broader Nightmare series. While my affection for this particular film is profound, I hold Dream Warriors and The Dream Master in slightly higher regard. Nonetheless, The Dream Child stands out for its memorable death sequences, nightmare sequences, and for continuing to showcase the MTV version of Freddy Krueger, a heightened version of the character that was notorious for blending horror with a zany pop culture edge, and one that was subtly introduced in Dream Warriors and then emphatically embraced in The Dream Master, solidifying his iconic status within popular culture overall. In the gripping fifth chapter of the Freddy Krueger saga, the narrative centers around Alice Johnson, portrayed once again by Lisa Wilcox. After narrowly escaping the relentless clutches of Freddy Krueger in the previous film, she dares to believe that the monstrous nightmare stalker has been vanquished once and for all. Bubbling with hope, Alice yearns to turn a new leaf and carve out a peaceful existence alongside Dan, a fellow survivor, dreaming of a world devoid of the terrors of Freddy Krueger. However, the shadows of horror linger just beneath the surface of her tentative happiness. Nightmares, chilling and unyielding, begin to permeate her sleep, raising concerns and doubts about Freddy's destruction. Adding to the unsettling nature of her life, Alice discovers that she is expecting a child. But as the safety of her inner circle becomes threatened once again, with her friends meeting cruel and untimely ends, a horrifying suspicion gnaws at her. Could Freddy Krueger, in a wicked twist, be wielding the very life growing inside her as a conduit for his malevolence? Caught between the relentless terror of her past and the protective instincts for her unborn child, Alice must summon the strength she never knew she had. Will she succeed in battling the insidious demon and shield her child from a legacy of nightmares? Or will Alice and her friends succumb to the rusty blades of Freddy Krueger? Screenwriter Leslie Bohem initially proposed the storyline for The Dream Child during pre-production for the third installment, but it was initially dismissed by executive Sarah Rasher due to its disturbing imagery related to childbirth. However, after the birth of her own child, Rasher revisited the idea, noting the maturing audience of the series. The Dream Child entered pre-production in late 1988, but faced challenges with its changing scripts. While director Stephen Hopkins wanted a gothic tone, the final product primarily drew from Bohem's draft, though contributions from John Skipp and Craig Spector led to disputes over credits. The final edit underwent multiple revisions to appease the MPAA, ensuring an R rating in the USA, particularly with scenes involving Dan and Greta.
You. It was terrible. What happened? I was in the dream. And I don't know how, but now he's back. thought you were dead. You're 4 hours late. 4 hours?
The original musical score for Nightmare on Elm Street 5 was composed by Jay Ferguson, showcasing his innate ability to set the film's haunting mood with precision. While his compositions are undeniably compelling, I personally find greater enjoyment out of the scores for both Dream Warriors and The Dream Master. That being said, Ferguson's work on The Dream Child stands strong in its own right, seamlessly fitting the film's atmosphere and perfectly complementing the narrative's ebb and flow. The film's contemporary soundtrack compiles a blend of heavy metal, hard rock, and hip-hop songs, with notable artists such as Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden, Romeo's Daughter, Wasp, Mammoth, Kool Moe Dee, Schoolie D, and many more. And while I think I also prefer Dream Master's contemporary soundtrack to this one, this album is surely a diamond in the rough nonetheless.
Hi.
Hello.
What's your name?
Jacob.
Really? I've always loved that name. Shouldn't you be in your room, Jacob?
It's lonely there.
A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, premiered on August 11th, 1989, and while it was the top-grossing slasher movie of that year, it received mixed reviews from both devoted Freddy enthusiasts and general audiences alike. The film's set design, makeup, matte paintings, stop-motion animation, and optical effects were widely praised. However, whether due to an overexposure from 3 consecutive Freddy movies in a row, or less appreciation for the storyline itself, The Dream Child didn't resonate as strongly with veteran Nightmare fans as its 2 predecessors had. The Dream Child did prove to be a worthy successor to its predecessors though, Dream Master and Dream Warriors, continuing the trend of cinematic excellence that the series has been known for. I found myself completely engrossed in its compelling narrative, no matter how far-fetched or hokey some might perceive it to be. The acting was commendable, each actor immersing themselves fully into their roles, while the pacing kept the story moving forward without a moment's reprieve. Yet, it wasn't just the plot or the performances that stood out. The film's extravagant set pieces added depth and intricacy to the world it built, coupled with top-notch cinematography that captured each scene with precision. The special effects, innovative and cutting-edge, added another layer of allure, making The Dream Child not just a mere movie, but an experience. By the time this particular movie was released, there was a noticeable simplification in Freddy's makeup. Gone was the intricately detailed visage that evoked genuine horror, and in its place, an appearance that was oddly reminiscent of an extra cheese pizza. The fearsome texture and shadows that once portrayed Freddy as a nightmarish dream demon had been softened greatly. However, it is worth noting that this version of Freddy Krueger was still visually far superior to the version presented in Freddy's Dead, where his look was so oversimplified that it was almost unrecognizable to longtime fans of the series. The Dream Child boasts some truly innovative and captivating death scenes that are hard to forget. The metamorphosis of Dan into a grotesque skeleton motorcycle rider was not only a visual feast, but also a testimony to the film's willingness to push the envelope in terms of imagination and special effects. Greta's demise, induced by Freddy's sinister act of overfeeding her, was equally disturbing, playing on the primal fears of gluttony and the loss of self-control. And then there's the memorable scene with Mark, who finds himself plunged into a comic book realm, pitted against the menacing Super Freddy in a vivid, surreal confrontation. Each of these sequences brings its own brand of horror, meshing the fantastical with the macabre, to produce scenes that will be etched in the memories of viewers for a long, long time. I wholeheartedly resonate with the sentiment that The Dream Child is a quintessential piece of the Nightmare on Elm Street collection. For many aficionados of the franchise, it's almost a rite of passage to binge watch Dream Warriors, Dream Master, and culminate that cinematic journey with The Dream Child, completing the Dream Warriors sub-trilogy. The Dream Child really is the climax of said sub-trilogy, and both Dream Warriors and The Dream Master are stronger films because of it. Despite varying opinions that fans and critics might have about this film, I firmly believe that The Dream Child stands as a testament to Freddy's enduring legacy in horror cinema. Its unique plot twists, captivating visuals, and the sheer audacity of its narrative makes it a standout within the broader scope of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. With that said, A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, is a masterpiece.